What's that? It's a bird! No, it's a plane! No, it's me telling you thank you for watching. December 28th, 2172. The end of the world. After well over a decade of water shortages, Earth has exhausted all water on the planet, including its oceans via desalination. Water became the new oil, but this time it wasn't a meme. Any country that had water was invaded by more aggressive neighbors, or strong-armed into trade agreements and alliances. But one thing averted another world war: mutually assured destruction with nukes. On Mars, it had been relatively peaceful, with the only government being a planetary one under the United Nations, and scientific advancements were made in droves. Even things only thought possible in science fiction, like shields and artificial gravity plating. But this technology was used by the governments on Earth to wage proxy wars, with no regard for the lives being lost. December 28th, 2172. Mars lost contact with Earth and the Luna colony. Satellites and planetary sensors were trained on Earth to try and diagnose a problem, but all they saw was suffering as nukes hit every city and town, decimating the entire planet. The governor of Mars sent ships to evacuate people, but they were only able to save a fraction of the population. Mars suffered greatly as most of the food was supplied by Earth, so resources had to be taken from the terraforming project and used for farming. And all ships left in orbit were converted into ice haulers to provide water. The Martian people banded together and formed their own government, the United Martian Colonies. After a few decades, the Martian people started to thrive, and even expanded to other planets in the solar system. But humanity's greatest dream of exploring the stars has remained out of reach. Until now. January 1st, 2200. The MCS Hawking, named after the Earth scientist Stephen Hawking, has finished its shakedown cruise and is preparing to conduct a test of our new experimental hyperdrive. If successful, it would be humanity's first ever faster-than-light travel, and the first time humanity has left the solar system. The Earhart class was named after Earth aviation pioneer Amelia Earhart. The class was designed in the late 2100s to be an exploratory vessel. At a length of 200 meters and a width of 75 meters, it has a crew complement of 55 spread across 12 decks. The class was designed around an experimental hyperdrive that should allow it to achieve faster-than-light speeds. It is equipped with dual Type 1 shield generators and minimal nano-composite armor. The class has no armaments, but has an advanced radar system, planetary surveying equipment, chemical thrusters, and a fission reactor that should allow the vessel to go without resupply for extended periods of time. Captain Theodore Wheeler orders the ship to general quarters. The hyperdrive is started and begins to charge. The crew straps into their stations, and the hyperdrive is engaged. February 20th, 2200. It's been almost 2 months since we lost contact with the MCS Hawking, but we have received a Priority 1 message on the emergency channel from the Hawking, reporting that they are in the Nicolor system and all lives are accounted for. Apparently the ship was not able to communicate sooner since their transmitter is not able to penetrate the hyperspace barrier. The Hawking starts transmitting all the information recorded about the journey, and some scans taken of the Nicolor system. Scientists on Mars are in a frenzy about the first successful use of the hyperdrive, and plans are already underway to improve the design. If we could perfect this technology and make it safer and more reliable, then humans really could colonize the stars. The Hawking has started to completely survey the system, and sends away teams to asteroids, moons, and even planets that our EV suits are capable of safely operating on. March 7th, 2200. Although the surface of Earth was scrubbed clean by the cleansing flames of nuclear fire, Earth's orbit is relatively unharmed. Many artificial satellites still orbit the now desolate rock, and some might even have power. It has been proposed that we recover them and see if we can learn any new information, or if nothing else, they can be disassembled and used for parts. May 15th, 2200. The MCS Lagrange, named after Earth mathematician and astronomer Joseph Louis Lagrange, has been commissioned and will begin its shakedown cruise, but the ship has not been equipped with a hyperdrive, as the designs for the drive are constantly changing because of the new improvements. In the meantime, the Lagrange will start the process of collecting Earth satellites. Commander James Woodard has been selected to lead the expedition, and depending on his performance as acting captain of the Lagrange, he may be promoted to captain.
Security authorization required. Security authorization accepted.
Incoming transmission.
Commander, your mission is to access the surviving satellites and use their communications data to triangulate the position of the government bunkers across Earth that might have survived a nuclear onslaught.
June 26, 2200. The MCS Hawking has found that Nicolor B1 has giant oceans of magma. Deep resonance scans indicate part of the planet's core is fully exposed in these areas, which explains how the magma can stay at such high temperatures regardless of outside influence. September 25th, 2200. A strange phenomenon deep in the core of Nicolor B2A has resulted in a lot of minerals and chemicals fusing and reacting together to form very rare heavy elements and alloys. The constant tectonic activity of the planet has pushed most of these elements to the surface. With the right equipment, we could mine these resources, but it would require a permanent base to be set up in the system or on the planet. January 19th, 2201. An away team from the MCS Hawking reports finding trace amounts of what appears to be animal dung in an underground cavern, along with small streams of water. It appears some form of life exists on this planet, and if proven true, then we are not alone in the universe, nor are we the center of it. June 14th, 2201. A deep scan of the gas giant Nicolor 1 has revealed a strange undiscovered phenomenon. Spread across the gas giant's upper gas layer are small pockets of floating flora, small islands of roots and vegetation, most in the form of trees. The leaves and branches are huge and extremely light, and sway with every gust of wind. The flowers are shaped like giant semi-transparent elongated balloons. The trees simultaneously absorb the little sunlight they get and the various base chemicals found in the gas giant. Captain Theodore Wheeler decides to take samples from the trees for further inspection. February 9th, 2202. The MCS Hawking has finished its survey of the Nicolor system, and has been ordered to implement new improvements to its hyperdrive, and proceed to the Sierra Morris system to start surveying it. March 14th, 2202. The MCS Hawking has discovered an ancient space station of some kind at the edge of the Sierra Morris system. This means that at one point there was intelligent life in the system, as it was built and it is not naturally occurring. But we have not been able to decipher the station's purpose. Captain Theodore Wheeler has been ordered to secure the station, then continue to survey the system. A team of scientists will be dispatched to the station once the final hyperdrive designs are approved and put into production. June 8th, 2202. The final hyperdrive design has been approved for government use. Civilian ownership has been banned, and ship designs using the hyperdrive have already been submitted, including ships that are armed, which would violate the Modified Outer Space Treaty of 1967, which was ratified by the Martian Provisional Congress in 2174, which was amended to ban all weapons from space, not just WMDs. This has started a debate in the current Congress about whether we should abandon the treaty, uphold the treaty, or rewrite the treaty. This debate was mostly spurred on by the discovery of the ancient space station in the Sierra Morris system, which proves the existence of other intelligent life forms, and we don't know if they would be friendly or not. September 5th, 2202. The Hawking has found decrepit buildings and other signs of a former civilization on Sierra Morris 1A. It's unclear how far the civilization advanced, though we believe they never got beyond the age of swords and spears. Large broken-down buildings, half-buried palaces, and crumbling walls were found, but no signs of steel or any advanced building materials were detected. How or why the young civilization was ended is still unknown. November 12th, 2202. A large, mostly sealed cavern system has been found on Sierra Morris 3. One of our drones was performing a mineral and soil survey and stumbled upon the cave by accident. To our surprise, it was filled with life. A sprawling, self-sustaining ecosystem has managed to survive here. This world must have supported a much wider variety of life at some point in its life cycle. December 3rd, 2202. News about our investigation and collection of objects in Earth orbit has leaked. Luckily, the operation is supported by the majority of our population. So far, the time invested has given little material reward, However, we have recovered some things of scientific value, including some communications data. Several historical organizations have requested access to the information gathered, so that they may fact-check it and add it to their museums to be viewed by the public. The Martian Security Council has released most of the data and recordings recovered, but have withheld and classified some things as top secret.
Security authorization required. Security authorization accepted.
Incoming transmission.
Commander, get your ship in order. The leak came from the Lagrange. Find the leaker and send them to Mars discreetly. Then get back to work.
February 9th, 2203. President Charlie Ginn has proposed an idea to Congress. He proposed the construction of humanity's first base outside the Sol system. An outpost in the Nicolor system would allow us to mine the resources found there and continue to study the phenomena discovered there. Congress has passed a bill giving the President the authority to commission the construction of such outposts within a given budget. Designs for outposts have been requested, but final designs are awaiting Congress's decision about the Outer Space Treaty and whether or not to allow weapons in space. June 3rd, 2203. The MCS Hawking has completed its general survey of the Sierra Moore system and has continued to the Cadria system. July 24th, 2203. The Martian Provisional Congress has amended the Outer Space Treaty and has ratified an amendment to the Martian Colonial Constitution, giving Congress the right to form, maintain, and support a military. The overall command of the military will fall to the President of the Martian colonies. The rules of conduct for the military are to be adjudicated by the Supreme Court. The Outer Space Treaty now allows for a limited armament on federal vessels and extremely limited self-defense weapons on civilian vessels. The treaty still bans any weapon that is classified as a weapon of mass destruction or disruption from being built, stored, or used in space or on any planetary body. September 27th, 2203. With the amended Outer Space Treaty now allowing weapons in space, the final design for an outpost in the Nicolor system has been selected. President Charlie Ginn has selected the Galileo class. The Galileo class was named after Earth physicist and astronomer Galileo Galilei. The class was designed in the early 2200s to be an outpost stationed in claimed systems. At a height of 150 meters and a width of 50 meters, it has a crew complement of 50 spread across 25 decks. The class is equipped with a large central Type 1 shield generator and moderate nano-composite armor. The class is armed with one spatial torpedo launcher. It also has an advanced radar system, fission reactor, and a central command center to ensure coordination between all parties in the system. March 26, 2204. The atmosphere of Cadria 1 is so dense that it mimics the flow of liquid. While extremely improbable for a gas giant to have such dense gas, it's not impossible. It is believed a combination of high gravity, very fast planetary spin, and extreme countermotion of the gas giant's atmosphere is the cause for this unusual phenomenon. May 9th, 2204. The MCS Hawking and other vessels have encountered foreign matter while traveling in hyperspace, and at these speeds, the matter tears through the entire vessel, damaging systems and decompressing sections. Our current solution is to have our deflector shields powered up, but this requires immense quantities of the vessel's power budget, reducing the vessel's overall effectiveness. So our scientists have developed a better way. By channeling a lower power copy of our deflector shields through a forward-facing dish, we can keep these navigational deflectors on at all times, since it requires significantly less power to maintain. A secondary benefit to these deflectors is it should help with the energy interference that our systems frequently encounter. June 10th, 2204. The outpost in the Nicolor system has been completed and crewed. The construction of mining and resource bases are currently underway. June 24th, 2204. The MCS Hawking was surveying Cadria 3A when they discovered fossilized remnants of thousands of unusual synapse nodes spread all over the planet. They appear to have served as massive biofactories that churn out endless swarms of bioforms. These hive worlds, as we have named them, seem to have been living creatures in their own right, incorporating millions of bioengineered organisms. Each hive world was a perfect biological factory capable of creating trillions of small and large organisms through gene replication and splicing that allowed them to adapt to every new world and environment they encountered. Captain Theodore Wheeler has marked the dead planet and designated it as a potential archaeological site. September 15th, 2204. The MCS Lagrange has detected the ISS-2, which was launched to replace the aging ISS, or better known as the International Space Station, before Earth's international relations started to collapse. Since no one nation could support it, they seem to have collectively abandoned it, and thus the station was spared from being a target in the war. The technology used on the station is obsolete by our standards, but it's surprisingly intact, and we should be able to reboot and access its computer systems to retrieve some information. News of the ISS-2 surviving was released to the public, and there is a petition that has been signed by almost 500 million people, requesting we restore and preserve the station. President Charlie Gant has requested funding from Congress to support this project, and thanks to intense public pressure, the funding has been approved. January 1st, 2205. With the new amendment to the Constitution, Congress reviews and adjusts the military's budget every year. This includes President Charlie Gant's Outpost Initiative, which has run out of funding from building only one outpost. So Charlie Gant has requested a much larger budget for this year. Luckily, the mining and research bases in the Nicolor system have proven to be very beneficial, which has persuaded Congress to increase the initiative's funding enough to afford 3 new outposts, and their locations have already been decided. They will be in the Ceramore, Caudria, and CO systems, once they have all been completely surveyed and secured. January 18th, 2205. The MCS Hawking has finished its survey of the Caudria system, and has been sent to survey the CO system for a future outpost. Once the Hawking completes its survey, it has been ordered to return to Mars to receive an extensive refit of the vessel's systems. April 12th, 2205.
Captain Theodore Wheeler's log. So far, our survey of the CO system has been relatively calm, and we are getting to study the system's protostar and its effects on.
Captain, unknown vessel detected.
Shields up, general quarters. Okay, this is what we've been training for. Send a greeting in all languages and prepare to send the golden record.
The MCS Hawking, after scanning the vessel, detects no life signs of any form, not even a pressurized section. It appears to be a probe of some kind, guided by AI, most likely made for exploration. Hopefully the Hawking's message will be sent back to the probe's creators, although it most likely won't make any sense, as the golden record was meant to be the thing they could understand, since it was made up of specially selected sounds and images that alien life, given time, should be able to comprehend. August 22nd, 2205. Unusual crystals appear to be protruding from the asteroid named BT-572 in the CO system. It is theorized that the asteroid was part of a large moon at some point in its life. The crystals are a result of the intense heat and pressure from when the asteroid was still a deep part of the moon. February 16th, 2206. The MCS Hawking has returned to Mars, and the Martian Science Directorate intends on extensively debriefing every single crew member. The crew has also been informed that the encounter with the alien probe has been classified top secret, and its disclosure carries the penalty of life in prison. The decision was made because we don't know anything about the drone or whether or not it's friendly or hostile. Captain Theodore Wheeler, after his debriefing, requested that for his shore leave he be permitted to assist Commander James Woodard with Earth's satellites, and with the restoration of the ISS-2. The Science Directorate has approved his request. March 29th, 2207. The restoration of the ISS-2 is complete, and the station is now operating properly. Although several parts of the station had to be completely replaced out of necessity, some parts were upgraded for safety reasons, but the vast majority of the station is still in its original form. President Charlie Gant has decided to turn the station into a museum, as it is all that is left of our former world. The MCS Hawking has been refitted, and ordered to survey the Ryama system, then continue to survey systems at the captain's discretion. James Woodard has been promoted to the captain and was given command of the Lagrange. Its first mission is to survey the Maelstrom system, then continue to survey systems at the captain's discretion. November 16th, 2207. The MCS Hawking was surveying Ryama 4, and they found living creatures in the gas giant that seem to be millions of years old and are accompanied by an ecosystem of plant life that seems to be completely symbiotic. January 3rd, 2208. The ISS-2's opening has been postponed by the Commissioner of the Security Council. The reason given was life support failures.
Security authorization required. Security authorization accepted.
Incoming transmission.
Commissioner, the ISS-2 has been set up to send the away teams down to the surviving bunkers.
Good. Excavation equipment is en route. Start with the bunkers from the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China, then move on to the rest. Move quickly now. I can't delay the opening of the ISS Museum forever.
March 18th, 2208. Captain Theodore Wheeler found an old mining base on the asteroid of A9L and has decided to lead an away team. The team managed to enter the base by following their suit sensors. The team began to make the arduous journey into the depths of the facility, and they start to detect irregular energy signals, which is emanating from a swarm of nanobots, which despite their age and apparent lack of maintenance, they seem to be continuing to mine. The team starts to study the nanobots, and they also take the minerals that the bots have been mining. April 20th, 2208. For millennia, we have looked to the stars, trying to understand them. Now we have the technology to do so. Some of our best scientists are eager to go and study them up close, so they have prepared a list of different types of stars to study. They have also requested the Science Directorate station them on our exploratory vessels, and that we assist them the best we can. The Science Directorate has approved the request, and has made arrangements for the scientists to be taken to the Hawking and the Lagrange. June 9th, 2208. While scanning the star Ryama, the Hawking's main computer detected a repeating pattern in radio frequencies. An engineer on board converted the patterns using some instruments, and it produced quite a unique sound. A full recording of the patterns has produced a beautiful sounding piece of music, so it has been released to the public. January 1st, 2209. The Martian Provisional Congress has repealed the ban on civilian ownership of hyperdrives, and has instituted restrictions on the sale of them. To buy a hyperdrive, you must possess the necessary qualifications to use and maintain the hyperdrive. You must also apply for a license from the government. With the advent of civilian hyperdrives, Congress realized the need for law enforcement in space, so the military has been given the task, and the Supreme Court has put extreme restrictions on the military's authority over the civilian populace while acting as law enforcement. Since the military only exists on paper, Congress has allotted funds for the construction of a few new vessels. President Charlie Gent requested designs for a corvette-sized vessel, primarily designed for peacekeeping operations, and the class chosen was a Tomcat class, and 5 of them have been ordered. The Tomcat class was designed in the late 2200s to be a corvette-sized peacekeeping vessel. At a length of 125 meters and a width of 50 meters, it has a crew complement of 20 spread across 7 decks. The class is equipped with the dual Type 1 shield generators and minimal nano-composite armor. The class is armed with 2 red laser turrets capable of focusing light at a target and generating extreme levels of heat. The class also has advanced radar systems, 2 small backup reactors in the event that the main reactor is damaged, navigational deflectors, and chemical thrusters. July 13th, 2209.
Security authorization required. Security authorization accepted.
Incoming transmission.
Commissioner, our away teams on Earth have access to the bunker from the United States, Russian Federation, and the People's Republic of China. Gaining access to the bunker was a difficult process as the teams could not stay on the surface for long because of the radiation. The bunkers were also extremely deep underground. Luckily, most computers were unharmed, except curiously in the United States bunker, where there was a large amount of battle damage from a firefight. All computers and surviving documents have been gathered and are en route.
The Commissioner of the Security Council has announced today that the ISS-2 has officially been opened, and all life support problems have been solved. November 8th, 2209. All 3 outposts have been constructed. Now President Charlie Gent is planning the construction of 3 more after Congress's next budget review in 2 months. December 14th, 2209. Both the scientific community and the public are eager to learn more about the various forms of life we have discovered. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary surveying efforts at potentially life-bearing worlds. The Science Directorate has requested additional funds from Congress to order 2 new Earhart-class exploratory vessels. Congress will decide on this matter when they make next year's budget in a few weeks. January 1st, 2210. The presidential election occurs every 10 years, which is the length of a presidential term. Currently, the Constitution does not limit the amount of terms one person can fulfill as president. There are 4 current forerunners in the election: incumbent Charlie Gent, Captain Theodore Wheeler, Captain James Woodard, and Governor Samuel Porter. The presidential campaigns will last until March 25th, and then voting will start. The winner will be announced on March 26th, and they will become president on April 1st. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to check out Cornish Ratbeard on YouTube and Sinful J on Twitch. Their links will be in the description below. Thank you both for helping with the video. If you want to play along, the mod list I am using is in the description. I have not encountered any issues with mod conflicts, but if you do, please let me know. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and a comment. As always, have a wonderful day.
Live long and prosper.